Hello everyone and welcome to a new video of my channel. So I have been recently working on a new gravity source code where instead of making an embodied simulation, I just make a gravity source on my mouse and move the mouse around the screen to make particles follow the mouse. In this video, I won't be explaining all the gravity stuff related to the code since I already did it in the last video. However, I will explain how the grid was made and also an optimization for the frame rate. To be able to make the simulation, I had to create a grid, an invisible grid, behind the window. I did it using a matrix, which would contain a number of cells that would be related to the window size. Each cell would contain a particle at the center, and the smaller the cell, the more number of particles there would be in the simulation. Needless to say, the matrix will only be created once, before the simulation runs, just to make all the particles, which will be identical, to have different position, and it would be uniformly distributed around space. After the matrix is done and all particles have a position on the window, then they will be inserted in a vector that will run on the simulation for each frame. As you can see, there is still a big problem related with frame rate, since when there is a really small grid size, the number of particles is huge. If we simplify what's happening on the simulation, we have the mouse, which would be the gravity source, and a lot of particles that would be attracted to that mouse. If the particles aren't moving, then the movement would only be in one direction. However, if I were to move the mouse, the particles would also have a component of velocity that would make them follow an orbit around the mouse. If it happened to be a particle at the edge of the window and that would have component of velocity that it would stray it out of the window, it's very unlikely that it would come back to the window, making an unnecessary rendering and dropping the frame rate for nothing. A simple solution is to create a Boolean function to check if a particle is inside the window, and if it isn't, there won't be any render.